part in the Speakout for Good Jobs Now, Rebuild the American Dream Tour. Thousands of concerned Americans packed rooms across this country to share their stories of hardship, unemployment, and struggle. From these stories, my colleagues in the Congressional Progressive Caucus and I wrote the Rebuild the American Dream Jobs Framework, which outlines how we will put America back to work and get our economy moving again. I wanted to take some time today to share some of the stories and realities that we heard on this tour. My first story is from Kimberly Lawrence from my state of Arizona. She says, I waited more than 30 years to finally receive a modest inheritance from my grandmother's property. I used the money to make improvements on my home that my husband and I were buying and to open my own child care business. It happened that year I opened is the same year the economy failed. I struggled to hold on, but when the new governor of Arizona stripped away child care subsidies and at the same time raised licensing fees by 200%, I lost nearly all of my clientele. I lived in a town that relied on hospitality jobs, which coupled with all else crippled the local economy and forced me out of business. My husband was laid off from the cabinet making job, and now, after struggling, our home is in foreclosure and set for auction. Everything I hoped for had finally taken shape, just to be ripped away. I have since left my husband and am now searching for a job in California. I have been applying and sending resumes for 6 months and have had only 2 interviews. I'm 50 years old, sleeping on my sister's couch with nothing to look forward to in my retirement. I suppose I simply won't have that pleasure. The other story comes from Bisma Ramdas of Florida. I live in Palm Beach County. I work for the largest hospital corporation in the world. I also have another job to make ends meet. I had a daughter that was born premature. The economy got bad. I lost money from the other job. Took time off to care for my wife and baby. And unable to make full payments to Chase for the mortgage, they eventually foreclosed my home. My wife and 3 girls moved out. Chase got money from the federal government for my house, and they got my house. Do I owe them money if they sell my house for less than I owe? Is that fair? Have I worked hard since I was 15 years old? I have worked hard since I was 15 years old. I have provided for my family, gladly pay my taxes. Is that fair? And the next story is also from Arizona, Tom Reisner. I'm retired and moderately well off financially. I've been doing a great deal of research on the economy and the history of these United States. I believe the middle class has suffered very much in the past 30 years. There has been a great shift of wealth. However, my greatest concern is for the present economy. We need to put people back to work. A second stimulus is needed, but aimed directly at the jobless. Much of these funds should be given to states for immediate relief. Teachers, police, firefighters, and many others have lost their jobs, plus others that have to create jobs in infrastructure and our roads. Also, those unemployed should be retrained to do useful work while they are unemployed. Thank you for listening. The American people are demanding we do something to get America back to work. These were just 3 of the stories we heard, and I hope that we listened, and I hope that all of Congress listens. The urgency is jobs. The demand from the American people is jobs, and our responsibility is to provide the American people with the opportunities of employment and a secure future. And I yield back.